Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that we received, and the translation reads like this. I saw my wife. She died in the year 2024. I saw her. She was sitting on top of a grave whilst she was holding a baby in her arms as she was crying. Hello, Brother Nanshi. I am begging you to post my story, but when you do so, please, I ask you to hide my identity, because if it happens that my in-laws realize that it is me that is talking, I do not even know what will happen to me. Brother Nashim, they say that when a person dies in a bad way, their spirit does not rest. If you have never sacrificed anyone in your entire life, or you have never killed someone, you will not understand until the day that a person dies, whilst you are holding them, or because of the things that you would have done, that person will keep on haunting you for the rest of your life, even if you do not see the ghost, the spirit of that person that you would have killed. But your conscience will be killing you each and every day. You'll be regretting. And what really hurts is that this memory keeps on replaying in your mind over and over again. When you are alone, you start thinking about the things that you did. The strange things that I am seeing at my wife's grave started when we wanted to install a tombstone on her grave. Brother, my story is like this. Let me take you back a little bit backwards so that you can understand where everything started. I'm a young man who is aged 35 years old. I am living here in our promised land of Zim. I can't mention my location because I want to protect my identity for security reasons. You never know what will become of me if it happens that those that know me get to know about this story. Someone might come and hurt me, considering the fact that I would have confessed in public that I sacrificed my wife. In order for you to understand, I will start with my own background, how I grew up, how I became an orphan very young. I became an orphan when I was young. Both of my parents, they passed away when I was only in grade 4. I can't even remember their faces. I can't remember the faces of my mother or my father because it happened when I was still very young. I can say that I survived only by the grace of God. God's grace was the one that made me to be where I am right now, because I could have died since I did not have any way where I could truly call a home. What happened, and this happens to most people that grew up as orphans, you do not have your own place. People, they can pretend as if they love you. They come and then they take you and they will tell you that they want to stay with you. But bottom line is that they don't care about you. They just want to use you. Since I was staying in the villages, whoever wanted to use me for labor was the one that I stayed with. If there was someone that had planted their field or a vegetable garden, and then they wanted someone to go and fetch water by the river and then to water that garden, that was the person that would take me and give me a roof over my head. And staying with that person working, it did not mean that I was going to be given money. No, I would be given nothing. It was just struggling. And these people, they will say that since we are already taking care of you, why do you want money? And I was young, I could not fight for my rights. My father's relatives, they treated me badly. They hated me. In fact, they just saw me as a slave. They would only love me if they wanted to use me for something. I moved from place to place because there was nobody that wanted to live with me for long. They said that I was troublesome. The other thing that used to happen is that when someone would have taken me and I would start to work for them, then when I say that I want my money, if that person initially would have promised to give me money, and then it is time for me to get what I felt belonged to me, the moment that I approached that person and then I say, so now I want my money, the one that you promised me. What are we going to do about this? Then they would create a story and they will say that you want money right now, but you have stolen something from me. This used to happen at all the times. I would work for someone for 2 months, 3 months. When I want my money, then that person will beat me up, claiming that I would have stolen something that belonged to them. And it was painful because even if I would go and report to the elderly people in the village, they did not even care about me. Since I was just an orphan, there was no one that wanted to stand for me. So I was also troublesome and I was rebellious because I was tired of being punished for things that I did not even understand. And most of the people, they said that I was unsafe to keep in their homes. Because of me being an orphan, I never finished my education. I remember when I was 16 years old, that was when I was taken to my mother's rural home because my father's relatives, they had given up on me. They did not want to be around me because they said that I was like a little criminal. So my mother's rural home, it is there is a mining town close to the village. Whilst I was there, everyone was going to dig up for the gold illegally in the old abandoned mine. I became friends with other boys in the village who had money at all the times. I asked them how were they hustling and where were they getting their money from. And when I became friends with those boys, they told me that there was no need for me to suffer because if I was going to work for myself, I could find a place to stay where I was not going to be disturbed by these people that were ill treating me. That is how I started to work in the gold mines. But the dangers that I faced in the gold mines, it was so terrible working conditions. My life, because of that, slowly changed because I started to make money. The same people who hated me before suddenly started liking me. That is something about money that I learned over time. When you are broke and poor, when you are dependent on other people, everyone just hates you. But when you have money, when you can put groceries on the table, everyone was fighting to stay with me, yet they used to call me a little criminal. I later married when I was 25 years old because I wanted to have a family of my own. And since I had seen that I was now making enough money to support a family, I said, why not? Let me look for a woman. After I had fallen for this other woman, I married him, and then we moved from my mother's village and we bought our own place in the rural areas. So I did not want to stay close to the relatives who had mistreated me. I moved from my mother's rural home far away as well from my father's village, and I looked for a new place where I could start over, me and my family. I did not want people, those that mistreated me when I was young, to come and ask me for money constantly. I started living peacefully with my family. There was no problem at all between me and my wife. It was like God had sent this beautiful woman to me, and she was all that I could have ever asked for. I would go and I would do my mining jobs, get the gold. We would split the gold in our syndicate, and everyone will take the share of their money and come back home. But the money I made never satisfied me because I wanted serious money, enough to buy cars like other people. Instead of investing the money, the small amount of money that I was making, I just wanted money to come to me in large amounts. And it was difficult because when you are digging up for the gold, you do not do it on your own. You are operating under a syndicate. You can end up getting money that is just like someone's salary. So you can't get rich overnight simply because you are digging up for gold. Because of the greed and me being unable to organize myself financial wise, using all of the money. The problem that I had was that me and my wife, we did not know how to spend money properly. Instead of investing, we would use all of that money. And I kept on working, and I was dissatisfied with the work that I was doing. Because I was not satisfied with the money that I was making, I thought that there was someone that was bewitching me. I decided to visit a traditional healer so that I could be spiritually strengthened to make more money. I did not want wealth rituals. I just wanted protection and luck. Most of us, we believe that when you are facing challenges at your workplace, it simply means that there is someone that is bewitching you, considering the fact that I came from a very poor background where I was mistreated. Now, the people that used to mistreat me, they would come and ask me to give them money. This even gave me a reason to believe, honestly, that there was someone that was bewitching me. So I was innocent when I went to a Sangoma. I just wanted protection and good luck. The traditional healer then gave me three three things that I was supposed to bury at my house. I had to dig up three holes, and I had to put those charms so that I can be protected from the witches. The conditions attached to these three bottles that had some charms inside of them were strict. No prayers were allowed at the house, no church activities, no other traditional healer was ever supposed to enter that property with the intention to strengthen my house. I secretly buried those three bottles at my homestead without my wife ever knowing. I said it is a secret that I have to keep as a man. You're not supposed to tell your wife each and everything that you are doing, because women, they can't keep a secret for a very long time. After that, the things started working. Within 2 years of using that medicine, I began making serious money. But when things improved financially, my wife, she then fell pregnant. The pregnancy gave her many complications. She became constantly sick. I did not want him to go to prophets or churches because I was afraid that she would be told that your husband is into rituals to strengthen himself. But she secretly continued visiting prophets with her relatives. Whenever I was not at home, they would go out and visit a sangoma. She would bring prayers that she had been given by the white garment prophets, holy water, into the house. That was when strange things started happening. We started to see snakes of different sizes, shapes, and colors appearing around the house. I immediately went back to the traditional healer because some of these snakes, we had never seen such snakes in our country before. Because I already knew that there was a problem that was coming and where this problem was coming from. When I got to the traditional healer, he told me that I had broken the conditions of my covenant by mixing the rituals with apostolic prayers and church items. The healer then told me that there were only two options to calm the spirits down. After my wife, either my wife had to die or I had to die. At that moment, I closed my eyes and I started to cry. I chose my own life over her life. After that, snakes started spiritually attacking my pregnant wife. She became seriously ill as she was being attacked by these togoloshis. Eventually, she miscarried and later died because, according to what I was told, the togoloshis had left a sickness inside of her womb. My wife was buried whilst she was still pregnant. And according to our traditions, when a woman dies when she is pregnant, she is buried close to a water, like a river or a place where it is always wet at all the times, in a cool place so that she can rest. So she was buried near a small river close to our field. After her death, everything seemed calm again for a while, but when you kill someone who is not your blood relative, things never end peacefully for you. I started to have dreams that kept on happening. These were the dreams of my wife sitting on top of a grave as she was holding a baby and breastfeeding that baby. I would dream this dream almost each and every night, but whenever I visited the grave during the day, I would see nothing. At first, I convinced myself that it was just the guilt of a person that has sacrificed the wife who was carrying his child. I was just simply overthinking. But last month, when we installed a tombstone, I experienced something that was truly terrifying. I went there with relatives to inspect the grave before the tombstone ceremony. That was when I saw my wife sitting on top of the grave, holding a baby in her arms, crying. Nobody else saw her expect me. The people I was with stayed behind and continued working, but I became so terrified that I left and I went back home. Since that day, I have no peace. I cannot sleep anymore. Every night, I feel like something is beating me like a tokoloshim. When I sleep, I am being beaten up such that it will be hard for me to go back to sleep because it will be very painful. I went back to that traditional healer, but he told me that there is nothing that he could do for me. He said that the spirit of the woman I killed is now stronger than all of his charms and muti. He even referred me to another healer in another village, saying that this is the man that might be able to help. Now I'm scared to continue moving from one healer to another. That is why I have come here to your platform. I know that many of your people are going to be judgmental, to judge me and ask why I killed my wife. Those who want to insult me, you can do so freely, but I'm desperate for help. I am also looking for someone who can remove the ritual objects buried at my home because the dead woman keeps saying I must confess to her family that I killed her. Up to this point, I have been scammed by many fake healers who keep coming to my house and pretending that they can help me. Then they charge me a lot of money and then I never see them again. And then I am beaten by the tokoloshis. If there is anyone who truly knows a real helper, please, I beg you, leave their contact details in the comment section. I'll be grateful. Please, please, I beg you. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us speak with our dear brother in the comment section. Strange, strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you know anyone, you were saying that he is looking for someone that is experienced in doing cleansing ceremonies. I am willing to pay. He says, I'm willing to bring that healer from wherever he is, and then he can assist me. You're killing your own wife for money rituals. Let us meet again in the following episode. If I bring another episode, are you going to watch it or you will skip? You can tell me in the comment section so that I can bring you more episodes and you can listen while you work or at home so that you can get to learn what others are experiencing in their lives. So tell me in the comment section.